All right, good morning to everybody. This is the Atlanta News First Plus Live Desk. I'm Rob Hughes. We have some headlines we want to get through today here at 11 o'clock, including one that may be familiar to a lot of you as we head towards a holiday weekend. Of course, July 4th is next Tuesday, but that falling on a Tuesday means that we've got a long holiday weekend. A lot of people are going to be traveling. Certainly through Atlanta, both on the roads and at Hartsfield-Jackson, which, as you know, is the world's busiest airport. So Hartsfield-Jackson's telling us they're expecting 360,000 people to pass through the airport, and we're talking about just today, guys, just today. It's going to be a pretty wild scene there throughout the day. We've had Madeline Montgomery live at the airport all morning long for us, and she has our report from the terminal.
It is definitely busier than usual here at the world's busiest airport. We have folks lined up back to the atrium here at the main security checkpoint. But of course, airport workers know what they're doing. They're moving folks through here in different lines, going through main security, and they're even diverting people to the different security checkpoints to make sure folks are moving through in a timely manner. And also, we're not seeing as many delays or cancellations as we were earlier during the week because of the weather issues. And it is just expected to be a busy weekend. In total, Atlanta airport staff expecting 2.6 million people to pass through our airport between today and July 6th, with over 660,000 people going through security checkpoints. That can end up setting records for TSA here in Atlanta. Airport officials believe the busiest travel days will be tomorrow, with 370,000 people going through Hartsfield-Jackson next Wednesday, July 5th, after 4th of July shenanigans. Officials want domestic travelers getting here 2 hours early and international travelers getting here 3 hours early. All the people traveling mean a packed plane train and longer than usual waits for food and bathrooms. And TSA really wants to hammer in checking your carry-on before leaving the house and making sure it doesn't have anything not TSA approved in it, because that can slow you and the security line down, and that can cost you a fine.
Almost every day, officers in Atlanta intercept firearms in the carry-on luggage of travelers. So far this calendar year, we have intercepted 199 firearms at our security checkpoints. 100% of those firearms were loaded, and the vast majority of those passengers stated that they simply forgot that it was in their bag.
If you are caught with a gun in your carry-on, that can make you lose your eligibility for TSA PreCheck for 5 years, and you can get a fine for over $14,000. Reporting to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
Yeah, some pretty jarring statistics there. 199 loaded guns at Hartsfield-Jackson that have been intercepted just so far this calendar year. And we have a different kind of concern involving the airways. Maybe you saw this yesterday. A Delta plane actually had to skid to a stop on the runway in Charlotte in an emergency landing. And we actually have some video from someone who was on board that plane as it was landing. Take a look at this. Passengers say the pilot told them something was wrong and that they were about to hear a big thud and a lot of grinding, and everyone actually had to brace themselves for an emergency impact. This is the video showing the moment it happened. This is from Harrison Smith, who was on board that plane. Of course, he was brave enough to actually keep the phone recording throughout this process as the plane literally scraped down in Charlotte from Hartsfield-Jackson.
Palms are sweating. I grabbed my phone, trying to text my wife, tell her I love her. Just a really scary situation.
I found out I'm going to be a father a couple of weeks ago, so, that was just very, very much on the front of my mind.
I have to say, after seeing the video and hearing the narrative before seeing the video, you thought it might have been more jarring of an impact. So we'll give a shout out to certainly the Delta crews who were able to land that plane safely. We're learning no one was hurt. There were 2 pilots, 3 flight attendants, and 96 passengers on board that plane. All right, I want to move forward with another top story that we're following this morning. This is a very much developing story, something that's been going on for a couple of weeks now. Today, a civil rights group plans to meet with city officials in Villa Rica. They want to talk about what they've called a racially insensitive social media post by the city's police department. Our reporter Rebecca Schramm tells us the group's leaders are also planning a protest.
The Carroll County NAACP branch is asking people to show up here at the amphitheater in downtown Villa Rica at 1 p.m. That is 1 hour ahead of the group's meeting with city officials. Take a look at what stirred up so much controversy. A couple of weekends ago, the Villa Rica Police Department posted a video and photos on Facebook showing a citizen firearms safety class. The post showed white attendees firing at targets, each one with the same image on it, a black man pointing a gun. The NAACP's local chapter president, Dominique Conti, got involved, saying the post was offensive and suggesting that the police department undergo diversity, equity, and inclusion training. The police chief, Michael Mansour, apologized for the post. He showed us samples of some of the other targets that were used during that same training, showing a variety of people as the bad guys. He said during the safety course, they had run out of some of those targets by the time the video and photos were taken that ended up on social media.
We have other photos that show us using different targets, but that one video and photo was put up, and that's where we messed up. I mean, it was not an intentional act. Obviously, we're not here to, we do everything we can not to offend anybody.
And we will be addressing this, and this is just the beginning. As I stated earlier, this is the catalyst, and it's time for change.
The NAACP says it will meet with the police chief and city leaders at 2 p.m. They're asking that the protest ahead of the meeting be a peaceful one. In Villa Rica, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
So you heard Rebecca say there that meeting is scheduled to happen at 2 p.m. That's just under 3 hours from now. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on Atlanta News First this afternoon, beginning at 3 and 4 o'clock. We want to move on to a little bit of a lighter story here for you guys. For all you vacation lovers out there, people who like to look forward to something, specifically vacations, the world's largest cruise liner is undergoing sea trials. So we're just a step or two away from this thing launching. It is a Royal Caribbean ship. We'll take a look at it here. Look at the images of this thing. This is the world's biggest cruise ship. It's getting ready to set sail soon. You can see all sorts of slides and pools all over this thing. Royal Caribbean's international Icon of the Seas recently began those open sea tests. It's being built in Finland at a reputable shipyard there. Weighing in around 250,000 tons, Icon of the Seas boasts the largest cruise ship water park, over 40 ways to dine, 20 decks, long list of amenities, as you might imagine. Apparently, it has 6 record-breaking water slides, in addition to 7 pools and 9 whirlpools. At max capacity, Icon of the Seas is capable of hosting 7,600 passengers. Among those passengers are more than 2,500 crew members. The ship, again, just completed its first set of sea trials last week. It'll be in the Royal Caribbean fleet sometime late October of this year. It'll officially debut in early next year. Royal Caribbean President and Chief Executive Michael Bailey says the advanced sales for Icon of the Seas have been record-breaking. He called it literally the best-performing new product launch they've ever had. So it sounds like demand is already very high for the now coming crown jewel of the Royal Caribbean fleet. And you might guess, I would expect that it's probably a difficult ticket to get at this point. All right, last story of the morning for you, and you've been hearing us talk about it all week long. We were talking about the incoming heat. I say incoming because this is what we're experiencing the last couple days, just about average this time of year in Metro Atlanta. That will not be the case this weekend as we get ready for the holiday weekend. We're talking above average, talking heat indices in the triple digits. Our First Alert weather team making it very clear it's going to be hot in the days to come, and that's putting it mildly. The temperatures really can get dangerous, especially at the playground, something that a lot of parents are aware of. But if you're a parent of young toddlers and you haven't been to the playground in the summertime, you should know that according to the National Program for Playground Safety, playground materials have recorded temperatures of up to 189 degrees, which can burn a child's skin in just seconds. Health experts also warning you to watch out for heat stroke and heat exhaustion with your loved ones. It's going to be so hot that the city of College Park is actually opening cooling station starting today and going through Sunday. And again, sometimes heat stroke and heat exhaustion begin simply as just not feeling right. So if something seems off, do not ignore your symptoms. Make sure you hydrate, stay in the shade, and if you can, just stay inside. I know that's hard with the holiday weekend coming up, but you're going to want to be around some body of water if you're not in the AC. All right, that'll do it for your headlines on Atlanta News First Plus at the live desk. give you one live look outside at Midtown. You can see it's already heating up out there, and we'll have your full first alert forecast as we get ready for the holiday weekend coming up on Atlanta News First at noon.